You know me, I am all about playing the odds and putting the percentages in your favor to get the most bites possible. Well, like I said in the title, if your lake or pond has this type of grass, wow, you may not be getting the bites that you think you are. Now, this type of vegetation is actually called chara or musk grass. It really likes to grow in silty and sandy areas. And here in my own particular lake, it goes down to about that 6 or 7 foot mark. It's actually an advanced form of algae, believe it or not. It doesn't have a deep root system to it, and it can cover absolutely massive areas. Just a huge expanse of your lake or pond could be covered in this type of vegetation. It does not get real tall, and the problem is the lures that we may be using, these bottom bouncing lures when we're trying to fish down there on the bottom on sunny days or high pressure days, are just getting swallowed up by this stuff. If you're fishing like a Ned rig, boom, vanishes, gone. If you have some sort of soft plastic that has a fairly heavy weight to it, gone, like these types of Texas rigs. I even put on some craws and some creature baits with the appendages that normally in a traditional silty type of a situation, leaves and muck will grab onto that silt and still be visible. Fishing this type of vegetation, boom, gone. Now, when the bass are very aggressive, they will go down in there and root out a lure, but I think you and I both know that the bass are not aggressive as often as we would like them to be. I've seen it happen over and over with this type of vegetation where they see it, they get curious, they come up, look at the bait, it's gone, it disappears, and then they turn and leave. So what can we do to help ourselves out? Well, I've found that the best types of lures to use when you've got this vegetation is one, a weightless wacky rig. It works really well because it's horizontal and then it lands on top of the vegetation and is less likely to slip right through. As you can see, it's easily seen. We can go ahead and twitch it and wiggle it around, and it's probably going to stay up where the bass can go ahead and grab it easily. It's not going to drop way down into that vegetation like, let's say, a Texas rig soft plastic would. Now, the other one that I like to use in this type of weed or grass or this chara is to use a Tokyo rig, but with a very light weight. Here I've got a 1/4 ounce worm weight. I could probably even go lighter with something like an 1/8 ounce. And then I have a Pure Elastec soft jerk bait on here. This one is a Zulu. And with the Tokyo rig and this chara grass, I like to fish it with just a little bit of tension on the line. So as you're dragging that Tokyo rig back, and you can feel very clearly when you get into this type of weed, this vegetation, this bottom composition, then keep just a little bit of tension on that line, and you can just impart all kinds of great tail action, and the lure is extremely visible. Because it's here, because it's where the bass can see it, your percentage or chance of getting a strike is going to go way, way up. So if we can find a spot where maybe there's some wood there next to it, this type of vegetation likes to grow well with other weeds, for example, just American pondweed. So if you can find those are good areas to key in on or target on. And my all-time favorite is if I can find this vegetation, this chara, that is sparse with like some sandy, open areas, clean areas intermixed with it. Then my odds go up even farther, because if my lure falls in this sandy spot, I know it can be seen all the time. Now, we need to be fishing this vegetation because it is a magnet for prey species, whether it is bluegills or minnows or, you know, whatever it could possibly be. They are all over this stuff, and when you've got prey species just hanging out really tight in this type of vegetation, you know there's gonna be some bass not too far behind. Now, if you'd like to watch a video on another rig, a drop shot that works really well in this situation, go ahead and watch this one right here. It's about Aaron Martin's ghillie rig. I think you'll find it interesting. And make sure to go out and encourage someone today. You never know how you might just change their life. For the Bass Fishing Life, I'm your host, Steve Rogers.